I have lived in the shadow of the gods for long enough. The time of the gods has come to an end.
Hello and welcome to our review for the hotly anticipated Idol Helios. For this one, we'll be on the house shot at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas, with a review on a heavier sport pattern coming soon. Speaking of Royal Crest, they're a big part of bringing these videos to you along with Storm, Turbo, Bowlers Mart, CoolWick, and the Storm Roto Grip Bowling Balls for Sale group on Facebook. The Bowlers Mart links are in the description to get the Helios pre-ordered or to pick up anything else, and my code Rosdahl10 gets you 10% off your CoolWick order, while SRGBBFS is a one-stop destination for all things SPI, specializing in used, rare, and overseas balls. Starting off with Angel here in her Land of the Free CoolWick jersey, the Helios definitely stands out, and it's big on traction. People screamed bloody murder when the original Idol was discontinued. It was very popular among tournament bowlers and saw a lot of airtime for many of the professionals, seemingly always being in Danielle McEwen's hands. It was part of a US Open victory for Francois Lavoie and a TV regular for Anthony Simonson and Chris Prather. However, having only shipped 20 balls worldwide in the last 2 months it was in the catalog, its time had seemingly come, and with balls like the Axiom and Phase 2 still around and doing well, they needed to move on. The industry was shocked, and the demand spiked to the point that they had to make a special run of 1,500 more to fulfill distributor orders, but that was it. It remained discontinued. People still talk about it though, they're still upset it's not available anymore, should have maybe bought more or something, I don't know. But either way, we now have the Helios, and it's being billed as an upgrade or a better version of the original, so we'll just see about that. The same icon core at a 249 RG and an 052 differential and 15 pounds. This core is nearly goated, and the Helios might punch that ticket with the new Extreme Track solid cover. From the literature, this cover reads like NEX Solid from the Proton, Axiom, and High Road Max. This makes sense. Microtracks that was on the Idol is an adjusted version of Storm's NRG or Nano. They aren't the same thing, just renamed. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to have that kind of overlap between the brands, but the relationship is strong, let's just put it that way. From the testing, NEX Solid literally outperforms NRG Solid. It's a bit stronger, it's a bit sharper, and much more durable, maintaining its reaction, shape, or performance longer, so scientifically, measuring several metrics that matter or are important to bowlers and ball reaction, it is better, and Extreme Tracks versus Microtracks is naturally going to follow that. The Helios does have a strong relationship in terms of reaction with the 3 Storm NEX Solid balls. Now, sometimes balls get better when they settle in and tame down, and obviously the Idol was a big deal despite being technically less durable, but we aren't going to get into that here. Angel doesn't have an original Idol anymore, but she does have an overseas green Idol, which is the exact same ball as the Idol, just a different color. The most important news here is that the Helios does very closely resemble the original Idol. The shape, feel, look on the lane, they definitely captured the soul of the Idol. For Angel, the Helios is earlier and a bit stronger, but they're of similar quickness. The Helios gets traction and starts digging earlier, yet somehow manages to really punch. I'm still not sure how they managed to get both more dig and shape out of the NEX Extreme Tracks formulas. I mean, usually you trade one for the other, but this cover is on some voodoo magic matrix type reality bending stuff. Now, watching the Idol, it's obvious why people liked it. Strong but smooth, round, continuous, controlled but powerful. It just manages the lane and is patient and such a mature reaction. She can chuck it at the ditch or tug the cheeks off of it, and it just kind of balances everything. Now, speaking of chucking it at the ditch or tugging the cheeks off of it, welcome to everyone's favorite game show. How bad can you throw it and still strike, where the skill is imaginary and execution doesn't matter? I haven't been throwing it great lately, as I'm sure you've noticed, but I did manage to ace a few in here somewhere in my Space Cat CoolWick jersey, and honestly, the ball reaction relaxed me. I'm so deep in all this bowling tech and theoretics nonsense that my head cramps up and I start trying to force things instead of just throwing the ball, but as we get a few shots in here, the confidence ramps up. I feel like I can get behind it and stay more inside of it and give it the business at the bottom. Lots of traction and a defined and readable shape, but super round and controllable motion. It's a really fun ball to throw. I mean, there's a lot of great balls that come out that I'm a big fan of, but very few that go beyond that into being something that makes you want to go bowl just to throw that ball. Plus, it matches my shoes, and that makes me feel pretty. It also makes up for being a sprinkler, too, apparently. I mean, we always film a bunch, and a lot of it ends up getting cut, both strikes and misses, because I'm trying to look for the stuff that represents the ball reaction the best. Some people throw extra misses in there just to look impartial, and that's cool, but seeing a ball tugged an arrow and a half or straight up dumped isn't valuable because no ball will save shots that bad, and the whole point of a video is to give you the best look at the ball reaction possible so that you can decide if the reaction's going to fit for you. In the case of the Helios, though, it's remarkably consistent through my inconsistency. It hides a lot of mistakes that other balls don't, won't, or can't. That's not saying it'll be the same for everyone. My mistakes tend to be getting out of the ball too quick or sending it out too quick, so part of it is that the Helios really fits my game. If your misses are normally in or getting slow, it's not going to cover those up. Speaking of not really covering mistakes up, I'm going to lame duck the Idol a bit here. I threw enough lame ducks with Helios, though, that the comparison should be visible. I get the same read as Angel. The Idol for me is definitely longer than the Helios, and mine's even a little slower, but part of that is just throwing it bad. A bit later here, when I catch a couple, they do pull up and shape well, but again, the Helios does really feel like the Idol. They definitely nailed both getting the reaction right and even elevating it. When I saw the press release about deciding to make a better Idol instead of re-releasing the original, I kind of rolled my eyes and said, great, we're not going to catch any flack for that, but I mean, they kind of back their nonsense up. Schlem doesn't miss, and the UC3 is really going to pop your eyes open, but the Helios deserves some attention. One cheap point here, if the Zen Master disappointed you, the Helios feels a lot more like a solid Zen than the ZM does, or it's not so far removed at least. The Idol Helios releases alongside the Rubicon UC3 on November 19th, and I'll have more video for both them coming on a heavier sport pattern, comparing the Helios to the Zen Master, Phase 2, Idol, and Axiom, while the UC3 will see the usual suspects. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.